Hello everyone, my name is Aaliyah and I'm going to be talking about chapters 7 and 8 from this book and then chapters 1 and 2 from the dark web. Sorry if it's a little loud, I'm sitting at Starbucks. But okay, so chapter 7 in this book pretty much talked about online branding. So what I got from this chapter was pretty much people who blog and people who are social media famous and the difference between online branding and anonymous online branding. So the difference between online branding and anonymous online branding is people who are just strictly online branding are people who will express everything about themselves, like their birthday, where they're from, things like that, to maybe get more likes and more attraction. I'm not exactly sure. And then people who are anonymous branding, online branding, are people on Facebook who do not share where they live, do not share their birthday, do not share a lot about themselves. A lot of people on Facebook, instead of putting their first and last name, will put their first name and middle name, or they'll put their last name as their first name because they don't want people to find them and learn more about them, which I totally get. Another thing about that chapter was talking about how employers will look you up on social media, and a part of me thinks that that's right, because there's so many online identities, which also they talked about, that people are very much different online than what they are in person. And I think that it's super important to know both, because you don't know if the person you're hiring actually is the person that you're meeting, or if that's just a front that they put on because of how they actually express themselves online. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then they also talked about other websites online, like LinkedIn, and how they use that for employers to find you and apply for the job and things like that. And then another thing on topping online identity is, I thought it was something I already knew but thought was more interesting, was pretty much how you can express yourself online and how it's so much different than expressing yourself in real life. And part of me was wondering, do people express themselves differently online because they're afraid to express themselves in real life, or is it because of maybe bullying, or they're not ready to come out, or something like that? So that's what I got from chapter 7. Chapter 8 was pretty much a summary of everything that we've read in the book. And the biggest takeaway is always being creative online. Don't try to be someone you're not, and don't to copy someone else just to become famous, or just to think that's how you look online. Always be creative and be careful what you post, and know that anything you post on there will always be on there, and you can't ever take that away. So that's what I got from chapter 8. So then the other book, The Dark Net, kind of freaks me out a little bit, because I saw the movie Unfriended, The Dark Net, and that movie is very, very, very similar to what we read in The Dark Net, which is really scary. So the introduction pretty much talked about the assassination kills. So my sister is big into conspiracy theories and watches things on The Dark Net, and there was a rapper called XXXTentacion who died from being shot. And what was really creepy is, if you go on YouTube and type in his death, there's a video that was posted 8 months prior to him passing, and it's the exact same video that was leaked on the news when he passed away. So the chapter in the book talks about how you can pick a person and pick a date that they're going to pass away, or when they die, and you get money if you're correct, which is really kind of scary. And if you go on YouTube or on Google, you can type in any actor or actress or any singer and say type in how they die, and it gives you a full-on detailed description on how they passed away and everything, and that's pretty scary too. Chapter 1 in that book talked about pretty much, I think of Maya as a porn star, and how she expressed herself by nudity photos and videos and shared them only with certain people. And then she clearly wasn't getting enough attention, so the audience asked her to do more and like write her name and like give more information. And they ended up finding her on social media and leaked all of her videos and photos to family members and friends, and that's also kind of scary. And then chapter 2 pretty much talked about a guy who was a transgender turning into a female, and he was trying to express himself as a female online, but he was so badly bullied that like he completely diminished himself from social media and probably was like in depression and suicidal, and because of how badly bullied he was online, but then decided to come back and express himself exactly how he is, which was a female, and he didn't care that other people made fun of him for who he was. So I think that's another reason why people post so much on social media, because I think that's a way of them coming out, you know, and like making them feel better about themselves. So yeah.